All right, we're coming to you here on the Thursday edition of the JMB Sports Podcast. And yes, we're coming to you live from the hosting venues of the NFL Championship this Sunday. I am live from Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. Now it's called FEMA Stadium. And John is at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, where it's going to be freezing cold at both locations this weekend, John.
Yes, it will be.
It's going to be freezing cold in Philadelphia. I believe it's going to be like 30 degrees at game time.
Yes. I don't think it's going to snow, though.
It's not going to snow. So hopefully it won't snow because snow, as we see, it can interfere with the player's game.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to get to today, and obviously this is championships weekend. As people say, divisional round and championship weekend is the best weekend of the football season. So we have the two games on Sunday. We have first the Commanders at the Eagles. Obviously, John's live from Philadelphia. And
I broke in today.
Right now, the weather looks pretty nice in Philly.
Yes, a lot better than the other day.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's a little cloudy here in the Kansas City metropolitan area. But it's sunny. Little clouds, some clouds, but it's freezing here. It's a low of 14 degrees right now. As you can see, I'm inside. I don't have a jacket on, so I'm inside the broadcast booth as we gear up for this fun weekend. So let's get started with the first game, the Commanders at Eagles. That's going to be at 3:00 on Fox. It's likely going to be Burkhardt and Brady for broadcasting the game.
Yep. The number one crew on Fox.
Yeah. So obviously the Eagles are favored in this game. But the Commanders are very dangerous, John. As we see, Jaden Daniels is having a season to remember.
Yes. It should be a very interesting game. I think Commanders actually pull off the upset this Sunday.
I totally agree. And if you're a Giants fan like we both are, if you're a Giants fan, any Giants fan, especially seeing Saquon Barkley leave the Giants and go to the Eagles, you're hoping that the Commanders beat the Eagles. But there are a lot of people feeling that way as they hope that the Commanders beat the Eagles. But this is going to be a very tough game. This is a tall order for the Commanders because the Eagles are they look like they're gluing together the pieces that they need. Goddard's looking really good now. The offensive line for the Eagles is looking stronger than ever. Hurts is looking good, and Barkley's their best player. He's been showing he's been playing as good as he could get. He's running the ball. Even in bad weather, he still runs the ball really well. He's that good. He's exactly what you want him to be, a elite running back who plays behind a superstar quarterback in Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And this team is, like last year, we saw that the Eagles break down late in the season, and they didn't go far in the playoffs at all. And then they come back this year. They start off a little iffy. Then they just get better as the season goes on. And then eventually they, they win these games in the playoffs. And then they're here in the championship game against a Washington team, which a lot of people believe. I'm got to remember, the Commanders beat the Eagles this year. So this is not going to be easy for the Eagles, and it's not going to be easy for the Commanders. So this is going to be a great game in terms of I would say a quarterback standpoint. This is going to be, I think, a game where the quarterbacks are going to have to throw the ball far. They're going to have to throw the ball. It's going to be a game of, will Barkley try to run the ball like he did last game? Will they get the ball to Brown? Will Goddard be Goddard?
Yep. Or will A.J. Brown start reading on the sideline again?
Yeah, that thing's a little, that story is getting a little out of hand, and we'll get to that a little later. But this is going to be a great game. I hope that it's going to be, I hope whoever wins this game, I hope it's only by a few points, because I'd like to see it come down to the last minute, as we all do. We want it to be a close game like we've seen in these championship games before.
Yeah.
It would be great if we could see like whoever wins this game wins by like a field goal. I think right now, if you put a gun to my head, I think the winner of this game will be the Commanders at a score of 27-24. I think that's my final score prediction right now. Commanders win this game 27-24.
I'm going to go Commanders as well. 31-24.
You're going 31-24. So yeah, I don't see this being I don't see this being a blowout game at all. I think it's going to be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes on Sunday. Obviously, the Eagles have some question marks with their defense, not defense, their injuries. Because I'm looking at the injury report. It says Cam Jurgens is questionable, Goddard's questionable, Sweat's questionable, but they're probably all gonna they got to all play because this could be the last game of the season for them, or it's the game that will get them to the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
So this is they need them all for this game.
And how about this for you, Brand? The Eagles started year 2-2. They finished the year 12-1 in their last 13 games. Who was the only team to beat them?
The Jets.
No.
Oh wait, that was last year. I'm sorry. Hold on. Just getting a tweet here from this.
Want me to tell you?
No. The only team to beat him
Since week 6.
Who was it?
The Washington Commanders.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Washington was the only team to beat him since week 6. Washington was the only team to beat him since week 6. They're a good team. They're brilliantly coached. They have a very good young quarterback who's going to be who's going to be a superstar in this league. He's already a superstar, but he's going to be in the next couple of years. He's going to be all world. Like he's that good. And if you're a Giant fan, you're like, we missed out on this guy. But we'll get that to another day when we discuss the NFL draft and where the Giants will get in the who they will pick in this draft this year. But we'll discuss that at a later date. But yes, the Giants did miss out on Jaden Daniels. The Giants need a total rebuild. But we'll discuss that this at a later date.
Yes.
So Commanders at Eagles is at 3:00 on Fox, along with Burkhardt and Brady, which is going to be pretty fun.
Yes.
Those two are a good tandem together. They definitely do well together. The big question is, will Tom Brady be back in the booth next year? That's a question.
He did say he fully intends to complete his commitment to Fox.
Yeah, and we do have our emails later in the segment. We do have a question on Tom Brady, so we'll get to that a little later.
And you might know we have a special guest trying
We
to
have
enter.
two special guests. We have Baseball Fan 69, and we have Dougie, who is live from. Dougie's getting some technical difficulties right now. We'll have him on when he's able to get on. But yeah, so Baseball Fan 69, welcome to the show. How are you?
Just give me a sec. Someone's in my driveway.
All right, listen, I don't have time. I really don't have time for this. What a fool.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, the Commanders at Eagles are at 3:00. So let's get to the Bills and Chiefs now. And that's where I'm live from. I'm live from it's not Arrowhead anymore. They renamed it. It's Fija Stadium.
Yeah.
I keep thinking it's Arrowhead because when I went to Kansas City, it was called Arrowhead. For most of the years, it was called Arrowhead, but now they changed the name. So this is going to be probably, I'm not going to lie, the more highly rated game of the weekend. Obviously, we all want to see the rematch. Mahomes and Allen. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of questions. Now, I thought of this the other day. All the pressure is not going to be on Allen. All that pressure is not going to be on Mahomes. You know who all the pressure is going to be on? The referees. All the pressure is going to be on the referees, because if they screw this game up and they give somebody a bad call, like Mahomes, if they give the Chiefs a call that will cost the Bills the game, they will end up getting in some hot water, these refs. And then this offseason, the referees are going to have to discuss with the NFL how they could fix their officiating, because I'm sick of seeing Mahomes getting these calls every 5 seconds. Oh, we got a 15-yard penalty roughing the passer, and that cost them, and then it's not enough time for the Bills to come back and win the game. Well, Mahomes is so good. He doesn't need the help from the referees to win the game. He could do it without a 15-yard roughing the passer call. Just let him play football. Let him play football, and let Allen play football. I mean, obviously, Allen hasn't got all the calls that Mahomes has got. I mean, Mahomes has got 100 calls going his way.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chiefs are talented. It's going to be a tough game for the Bills. But I think that this is the year where the Bills have to come over the hump. But the Chiefs is a tall order. You got a great defensive coordinator. Andy Reid knows how to coach. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. You have a great running back and also a Rutgers guy, Isaiah Pacheco. You have a great Hall of Famer defensive tackle in Chris Jones. Chris Jones is definitely a Hall of Famer for sure. And Travis Kelce is a tight end. So this is going to be a tall order for the Bills, but the Bills should come out on top. What do you think, John? Do you think the Bills will actually win this game, or do you think the Chiefs are once again going to go to the Super Bowl? Give me your thoughts on this game.
Well, first, you forgot the most important factor to this game. Someone in the stands every Chiefs game, Taylor Swift.
Oh, stop. You don't want to hear my opinion on the Taylor Swift thing. This is a football game. Okay, this is a football game. I'm tired. We could save the drama for later. We don't need to see I've seen Taylor Swift enough. This is about football. I need to see football. Like, the Super Bowl is not, like, if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, it's not going to be about football. It's going to be about Taylor Swift and her drama.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Taylor Swift every Chiefs game. It's about the football players.
Yeah.
But I know what it's about. It's about drawing money. That's what it's about. It's about drawing fans. But the NFL doesn't, we need to focus on football. It's just, to be honest, Kelce had a great season, but he wasn't the same player he's been because he's been too focused on Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't targeting him as much.
Yeah.
As guys like Hollywood Brown, guys like Worthy.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Kelce focus a little more on football.
Yeah. Back to my opinion on this game. First off, I just looked up, you have the referee assignments for this weekend. It'll be Clete Blakeman doing this game. But honestly, I'm sick and tired of, like we said, seeing every call go Mahomes' way. Especially that game with the Texans last week. The roughing the passer on Anderson, the unnecessary roughness that they hit each other. I think they're just trying to protect their crown jewel, that is Patrick Mahomes. But I think Bills are strong enough. We saw in that regular season game, they have the stuff to actually go in and beat Kansas City. I think if their defense can stop Mahomes from all these wacky plays, like that touchdown through to Kelce, that he was falling down, I think stop that. Probably Allen does what Allen does. you can very well see Buffalo win this game.
Do you think the winner will win by a field goal?
I'm gonna say yes. What's their name? What's it? Bill's kicker, Bass, right?
Tyler Bass, yes.
I think he redeemed himself from that divisional round game last season, and
I totally agree.
the
I
Bills
think this
to
is going to
Super
be.
Bowl as
I think
time
this is going to be
expired.
yeah. I think this is going to be a battle of the kickers because you got two of the best kickers in the league. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Bass is not the best kicker, but Bucker's really good.
Yeah, I think they'll win this game, 21-18.
21 to 18.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bills win 27-23. I know I picked 23. That's a weird number. I just
Yeah.
feel like there's going to be some kind of missed extra point or a safety in this game. So I think the Bills win 27-23. So yeah, it's going to be. You couldn't ask for two better divisional round games. I mean, championship round games. I apologize for the misconfusion. You couldn't ask for two better championship football games here, and I can't wait for this Sunday. It should be great. And then you got the Super Bowl in New Orleans in 2 weeks away, which is not that far away. And then all that snow in New Orleans right now. I mean, you see people skating on ice in New Orleans. I mean,
Yeah.
never seen anything like that before.
And by the way, the ref for the other game is Sean Hockley.
Sean Hockley. Yeah, I see. You know what's funny? You say, I don't know the referees in the NFL like I do in the NBA. Like I see like NBA referees more because I watch more NBA. I mean, I watch more. There's more NBA games than NFL games.
Yeah.
So
And
like
then,
you get used to the NFL game. You get used to the NBA referees like Scott Foster, those kind of guys. But I don't really know the NFL referees that much.
And then, of course, you know everyone in baseball by the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Specifically, Angel Hernandez.
Yeah. And then we'll get into the Baseball Hall of Fame a little later because I know you guys want to get into that. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got a special guest. Dougie is going to join us. Dougie from Sir Albert Broadcasting is back on the show. He will join us right after this commercial break. All right, we're back here on the J&B Sports Podcast, and again, we are live from Kansas City and Philadelphia, where the NFL Championship games will be taking place this weekend. So let's bring in Dougie, who is live from the White House.
What's up, guys?
That is the White House. That's the back of the White House, correct?
It's some part of the White House. I'll tell you that much.
Very nice. Well,
I can't really give that much details.
right.
on
This is you can't disclose that much information, but it's good to have you on the show, Dougie, as always.
Yeah, thank you.
What's up, Douglas?
Not much. So I was listening to Brandon talk about Taylor Swift, and honestly, that's all it is. It's a Taylor Swift concert when you watch the Chiefs. Once Travis Kelce scores, who I think is one of the most arrogant players in the NFL. No one is as arrogant as Travis Kelce. He scores a touchdown or he does a nice play or something. Who's on the scoreboard? Who's on the screen? Taylor Swift. Like, end it already. I hope
it's
they lose.
every play. It's literally every play he scores.
I hope they lose so you can see Taylor Swift and all the Swifties crying. I hope so.
And I have nothing against Taylor. I like Taylor Swift. I think her music's great. But it's an NFL game, and I don't need to see. I mean, let her focus on music.
Yeah.
And I want Kelce to focus on football.
And there's a lot of conspiracies
Taylor
going
Swift concert
around.
when the NFL season's over, and we could focus on that later on.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracies going around. Is that, let's say the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl and they win it. Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift during the award ceremony. That's been going around, so who knows?
That could definitely happen for sure.
It could.
Yeah.
And then they
But we'll
get
see.
divorced, and she writes a song about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we discussed the two games. So what are your predictions, Doug, on the first game, Eagles and the Commanders? Who's your prediction, and what do you think each team has to do to win this game? You know, who do you want to win this game?
So I really like Washington to win this game. I think they're the hungrier team. I think they're the hottest team in the NFL. And the video is just going to keep circulating of our GM's son saying, pick Jaden Daniels. This team jumped from 4 wins to 12. A chance to go to the Super Bowl. Now, a lot of Giant fans are saying, "Oh, you gotta hate Barkley," but I think Barkley is proving that he's the best running back in the NFL. The Giants let him go. And I think if the Washington Commanders want to win this game, which I think they will, I think they have a great young team and they're on a mission right now. They have to stop Saquon. Because right now Saquon is on a mission. He wants to give the middle finger to the Giants organization. So I think if the Eagles win this game, it's going to be based on what Saquon Barkley does. But Washington is just on a mission right now. I think adding a guy like Bobby Wagner and Marshawn Lattimore has helped their defense. So I truly believe the Washington Commanders are going to win this game by a score of 38-35. I think Washington wins this game and they go to their Super Bowl. Buffalo versus Kansas City. I think it's Buffalo's year. I truly do. I believe it's Buffalo's year. I think they're going to finally win a Super Bowl. I think that's going to happen. They're on a mission. Josh Allen is showing why he's MVP. They're showing why he's showing why he's valuable to that organization. But Kansas City is just going to do what Kansas City wins. They have Patrick Mahomes at the helm. Yeah, they get calls here and there, but he's a solid NFL quarterback. When it's all said and done, he's going to go down in the history of the NFL as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. If he wins the Super Bowl this year, he's going to be in the conversation with guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I think that's how good he is. I have a Patrick Mahomes jersey. I love the guy, but I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. I hate Travis Kelce. I hate that whole shit with Kelce and Taylor Swift. I don't like the way they play. I don't like the way Kelce acts. I think he's arrogant. But I have a lot of respect for Patrick Mahomes. But I just think Josh Allen gets the edge this time around.
I totally agree, and I do have a lot of respect for Mahomes too, and I have respect for Pacheco as he's a local Jersey guy, and you know he played at Rutgers. He's done a great job under this regime, and you know he's got a great coach in Andy Reid, who, as Philly fans know, he's spent most of his career with the Eagles, with that team. But there's a lot of Mahomes. There's a lot of good parts of that team. I agree. I think that team is going to go down as one of the best. Well, Mahomes is going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. There's no doubt about it. He's done a great job with that team. He's very good in the pocket. He definitely knows what he's doing. He knows how to run, and he's a great passer for sure. What do you think, John?
I really have nothing left to say. We hit on a lot of good points with this game earlier.
Yeah, but again, I think I don't know if it's going to be true, but I think this second game of the Sunday night game, the Sunday games, the second game is going to be highly rated, more rated than the first game. I think it's going to be the rating is going to be off the charts for the second game. I think the first game is going to be great too. But the second game is really what the country's looking for. They want the rematch. They want to see Mahomes and Allen. It's like seeing in the NBA LeBron versus Curry. It's like seeing it's superstar versus superstar. That's pretty much what it's like. That's it. This is pretty much what this is. NFL superstar versus NFL superstar. This is what you want. It's great for the sport. It's great for the fans. It's great for the country.
Unless
So,
it was your Tony.
yeah, I don't know where he went. He was supposed to join, but there was somebody in his driveway.
So,
So,
why you
now
have
that-
me on? John, how's Notre Dame doing?
We don't talk about that, Douglas.
That's what we're going to get to now.
Yes.
Ohio State defeated Notre Dame 34-23
You had it all set up. Good.
on Monday, which
You
was
planned that, didn't you, Douglas?
it was a pretty good game. I mean, it was pretty one-sided for the most part.
You're just mad, John. You're just mad. What can I say? Ohio against the world, baby. Everybody hated us. Everyone was saying, "Oh, fire Ryan Day. You lost to Michigan. You lost to Michigan." Who cares? We lost to Michigan. Michigan's a joke anyway. I have no respect for Michigan. So we lost to them. Big deal. The 12-team playoff set us up to prove people wrong that we deserve to win a national championship. And look what happened. We beat number 1 Oregon. We beat Notre Dame. We beat these good teams. Come on. What's the big deal? Oh, they lost to Michigan. Okay. Big deal. We won. We proved everybody wrong. What a day. Donald Trump gets inaugurated and Ohio State wins a national championship.
Well, it was that day, Douglas.
It was a successful day for Dougie.
Yes, it was.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
And there was only one good thing for me, Brandon, that day.
Your birthday.
Yep. I'm old.
Yeah.
But not, of course, not as old as our good friend here.
No one cares about that, John.
But yeah, so it was an okay game. I didn't think it was the best game, but it was what you expected. Ohio State. I mean, I thought Notre Dame would be in it most of the game. They did make a little comeback at the end, but it was not enough time to come close.
And of course, now we lost our defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Al Golden is going to the where did he sign with? The Bengals?
Yep, back to the Bengals. He was
That's your
there
guy.
their Super Bowl year.
Yeah. And that's another thing about the Bengals. Lou Anarumo is going he left the Bengals and he's going to, I forgot where he's going to. Where's he signing with? I forgot. Man, where did he go? I forgot.
He's going to play for Doug.
He's going to the Colts. That's a great move for the Colts. I think he'll do really well there. But yeah.
So what happened to the caller? Didn't someone call in before?
Yeah, some guy, but he said there was someone in his driveway, so he had to go.
Oh.
I mean, I don't have time for this kind of stuff here. Either you join or you don't.
Yeah, people are weird.
People are weird. What a fool.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
It's his favorite person, Doug.
Yes.
Who?
Take a guess.
Who?
Tony.
Where's
Yeah.
Tony? Is he in the corner?
Yeah.
No, that's Andrew.
Andrew's in the corner.
And Tony's searching for his wife.
Yeah. So, NFL championships this weekend, and this is usually the part where this is this time of the year where we start to get a little deeper into college basketball. College basketball season I always thought college basketball season starts like now because
Oh, yeah.
the holidays are over. Football's pretty much almost over. College football is over. So this is pretty much the time where the college basketball season is on. This is the unofficial, the second start of the season. This is where the games really matter for all the teams, especially in the Big Ten, because the games are really hard in the Big Ten and all the conferences. But we'll mostly talk Rutgers and St. John's because those are pretty, and Seton Hall. See, we could throw in a little Seton Hall too. The local teams. Now, I don't know. Have you been following St. John's lately?
Nope. I
Not
only follow
really.
my Wildcats.
St. John's has been doing really well. I mean, they're definitely going to the NCAA tournament for sure. They're definitely going to the NCAA tournament. Right now, they're ranked 20th in the country. 20th in the country. But they got some decent players, and they have a great coach under Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino's a great coach.
Yeah. But Brandon, what happened to Rutgers? They were ranked to start the year.
Everyone thought this was going to be the year. You got two of the best recruits in the country, Ace Bailey, and they're great. They're absolutely great. They're great players. But for some reason, the record is not showing it. I don't see I need to see the record be better in order for them to be serious here. They need to get in. If they're going to want to get into the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to win the games that they are not expected to win, but they should win. So, for example, they need to win. They already beat a team that they should be able to have an opportunity to be considered. And that was the team beating UCLA the other night. That was a huge win for them. They needed to beat UCLA. UCLA is one of the best programs in all of history. They got one of the best programs. They beat UCLA. They beat Nebraska. They lost to Penn State. That hurt. That was a tough loss, losing to Penn State the other night. If they beat Penn State, that would have changed everything. Big game this Saturday. You got Michigan State against Rutgers at the Garden. It's a 1:30 game. That's going to be great. If they beat Michigan State, who is, I believe, they're first in the conference. I think they're first. They're ranked 8th in the country. I believe they're first in the conference. Yeah, they're first in the conference. If they beat Michigan State, that will be huge. And I think they could beat Michigan State because they got the talent. They just have to glue it together and figure out how to, score against Izzo's offense. That would have been a good game to go to, too, at the Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Michigan State, you got Michigan, Purdue, Illinois. Yeah, so this is going to be – Rutgers has some work to do if they want to make the NCAA tournament. They really do. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the season. And then let's get into – I know you guys are big into the Mets Hall of Fame. What's your thoughts on the Hall of Fame? Obviously, yesterday we had the announcement that Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner were elected to the Hall of Fame. What are your thoughts on, the election of these great players?
Well, for me, I think Ichiro's deserving, of course. CC, but I don't think he should have been first ballot. Maybe next year. But I think this opens the door, and Billy Wagner, congratulations. But I think this opens the door for guys like Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, because if you look at the ballot next year, you have guys on there that complete jokes. And what I mean by that is they're not Hall of Fame worthy. I think you're going to have guys next year like Rick Porcello on the bracket. You're going to have, I think Edwin Encarnacion is borderline. But you got Rick Porcello, Edwin Encarnacion, Daniel Murphy. You got these players, even what's his name is on the ballot next year, first time. A lot of guys that had solid careers, but at the same time, they're not Hall of Fame worthy. So I think this opens the door for a lot of guys for next year. Look at Carlos Beltran. You look at Andrew Jones. I think there's another guy that can get in next year. But for me, I look at Alex Rodriguez. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. For me, he's a Hall of Famer. And even though he had the steroids and this and that, I would still vote for the guy. I would still vote for A-Rod because I think he's that type of player. I think he's a great player, a special player. And he was also one of my favorite players growing up. So I would vote for A-Rod to be in the Hall of Fame. And the fact that he's at 37%, it's embarrassing for the game of baseball. And it's unfair for him because he was one of the best. And he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame because of the whole steroid issue. But I would still vote for the guy because I have a lot of respect for the way he played the game. And no one has respect for A-Rod like I have respect for A-Rod. So for me, I think A-Rod should be in there, but I look forward to seeing Carlos Beltran make it next year. I think he's at 70%, so I think he makes the Hall of Fame next year. But like if you look at the class next year, and I'm going to try and pull it up for us real quick.
I saw it, Doug. It's ridiculously weak.
Yeah, it's weak. So
Biggest names, I think, Ryan Braun.
So you have these guys. So next year for me, Carlos Beltran gets in. Andrew Jones. Manny Ramirez is out the door. Next year is his last year. But I think in his third year, he's at 39%. I think Chase Utley makes a huge jump. I think Utley will get in the Hall of Fame either next year or his fourth year. Utley's going to be that guy, and I know Mets fans despise him, but Utley is a Hall of Famer to me. Utley is going to make that jump from 39% to maybe 45, 50. And then maybe the following year he'll go from 50 to 75 and he gets in. Utley, to me, will be in the Hall of Fame. I think Dustin Pedroia could still get in. I think David Wright will get in, but he's not going to get in by the BBWAA. He'll get in like they elect other guys, like when I'm in my 60s or 70s. That's when Wright will get in. But you look at the ballot next year, all the first-timers. I think a lot of them, it's going to be a laughingstock with their percentages. Edison Volquez, no. Kelvin Herrera, no. Chris Davis, Jeff Shamarja, Matt Wieters, Rick Porcello, Daniel Murphy, Jason Kempness, Matt Kemp, Gio Gonzalez, Hunter Pence, Nick Markakis, Howie Kendrick, Edwin Encarnacion, Shen Shu Chu, Alex Gordon, Ryan Braun, Cole Hamels. You're going to tell me those guys are Hall of Famers? No. So that's going to open up the door for Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Chase Utley, Alex Rodriguez, maybe guys like David Wright. But yeah, if we're looking at it next year, Beltran will be in, Andrew Jones will be in, and a possible Chase Utley. At least for my opinion. And no one has opinions the way I do.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think, there are a lot of people who debate on how the Hall of Fame should be judged. How players should be voted in. But I totally agree. I totally agree with your points. I think, the players you mentioned are definitely valid Hall of Famers for sure. Yeah, all those players that you mentioned have had great careers. They meant a lot to their towns. As a Hall of Famer, you have to kind of be not just a good player on the field. You have to be a strong figure in your town and around the league, and a cultural figure too. Meaning, like, for example, a Derek Jeter was a great player on the field, but he also meant a lot to the fans. He meant a lot to the league. He meant a lot to the country everybody knows Derek Jeter. He just meant a lot to everybody.
Yeah.
To be Hall of Famer, you have to do more than just play. I feel like you have to do more than just playing the game.
Because when I look at that list, I don't think of Ryan Braun as a Hall of Famer. I don't think of Edwin Encarnacion as a Hall of Famer. I don't think of Daniel Murphy, Rick Porcello, Nick Markakis, Matt Wieters as a Hall of Famer. These
No.
guys are going to be one and done. I hate
Yeah,
to say
I
it,
totally agree.
but they're going to be one and done. That's the type of career they had. Solid, but not Hall of Fame worthy.
Like a David Ortiz meant a lot. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Carlos Beltran in. Like Chase
Carlos
Utley.
Beltran is yes.
Chase Utley in.
You know, in the NFL, there's been so much. I mean, I'm not trying to change the topic here, but NFL Hall of Fame. There's been a debate going around about Eli Manning and whether he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer for sure, because he won 2 Super Bowls against one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he means a lot. He's just a great figure to have in the town, and he does a lot for the league in general.
All right, so I'm going to bring this point up because there's a lot of lightweights that like to have this opinion about Eli Manning. Oh, he's not a Hall of Famer. Well, guess what? You're a loser for that opinion, and I think you are. So with Eli Manning, is people like to say, "Oh, he won 2 Super Bowls. He was carried." I don't want to hear that nonsense because anyone that brings up that nonsense is a clown. So the way I look at Eli Manning is he's a Hall of Famer. Eli carried that team. Eli made the clutch throws. Think about it. Yes, he had great defense, but he made the clutch throws. Go back to that play against the David Tyree catch against the Patriots. Lucky catch. But any other quarterback would have been sacked. He got out of that play and he scrambled and he threw the ball. He made some clutch throws down the stretch. What about the time against the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game? He threw the ball 58 times and he got sacked 6 times. He still led that team to victory. He's top 10 in passing yards. So he has had a Hall of Fame career. It's just varying on if he gets there in his first year. I think he does, but I think it may be a second or a third year. Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. It just matters on when.
Right, and you know he's a Hall of Famer for definitely for sure. But he's also just he just does so much for the league in general. I mean, look how much he does with the communities and all he does around not just football, but with everything.
Yeah.
He's just a great guy. I mean, I never met him, but he looks like he's a really nice guy to be around. He's good with the kids. He's good with the fans. So that's what you also look for in a Hall of Famer is you look for somebody who is a personable figure who just is there for the town when you need them to be.
Yeah. Even with that, Brandon, you have a diehard Jet fan and my cousin Giacomo. He even admits Eli Manning, Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
And
I think
Jet fans basically hate us because of our success compared to them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Doug?
What?
Jet fans basically hate Giants and their fans,
I hate the Jets.
but would you say it's the same way Jet fans hate us?
No, because they've been a laughing stock, so they really don't. We've both been jokes, so no one really cares.
Yeah.
Yep. But Doug, thank you so much for joining the show. I mean, it's been a pleasure having you, and I hope you have a safe trip home from Washington.
Thank you. I
And-
appreciate it. I'm doing a political episode here with Shane McKenna, so it should be fun.
Very good. Well, good luck on the show, man, and we'll talk to you again in the future.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Safe trip home.
All right, take care.
All right, that was Dougie from Sarava Broadcasting. We are try to have him here and there for weekly shows.
Always great to have him on.
Yeah.
Great guy.
All right. So let's get to the final part of the show. We're going to do the emails. So you can send your emails to the JMB podcast at yahoo.com. That's to send your emails to the JMB podcast at yahoo.com. These emails are brought to you by Sarava Broadcasting. You can listen to Sarava Broadcasting on any application, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you can find your podcast applications. So let's get to the first email. This one is from Handsome Squidward. Where will Pete Alonso sign, and what are your Super Bowl matchups? All right, so John, you're the Met fan.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I just saw, I don't know if it's a credible source, that Alonso has a deal with the Blue Jays that he's apparently heading north of the border. I
don't know.
obviously don't want that to happen, but apparently it was close, and now people are reporting it's done.
See, it's not. I just don't think it's like if the Mets wanted to pay Alonso, I think they have enough money to do. They have so much. They have all the money in the world to do it. I just think the problem they're worried about is he's older. Well, he's not old. He's getting. They want to sign. He wants to look for a long-term contract.
Yeah.
But that contract will take him into his mid-30s, and I don't know if the Mets want to sign somebody who will take them into their mid-30s and not be the same. Not that versatile athletic player as, a 25-year-old.
Yeah, like I've talked to guys at work. We all agree, like, he's not worth what Freddie Freeman got from the Dodgers. And what was that, 3 years ago? 4 years?
Yeah.
Since he signed right after they won the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Freddie's a lot better player. And he wants more money than he got.
Yeah, Freddie turned out to be he destroyed the Yankees in the World Series last year. That was unbelievable what he did.
So if you want to think of it this way, Freeman's 35, Alonso's 30.
Right, so if you sign Alonso to a 7-year contract, that will take him to 37 years old. I just don't know if Stearns and Cohen want to do that. They don't want to be locked into a long-term contract like that.
I think all along he did not want to come back to New York. If he really wanted to come back, he would have taken one of the offers the Mets made.
But what I hear is that Pete loves the town. He's good with the fans. He's good with the New York media. I just hear good things that Pete wants to stay, that he wants not stay, but I hear good things that he loves New York. He wants to stay. He wants to deal with the New York media. There are some players who don't like to deal with the New York media, but he seems to like the New York media. He's one of those players that actually like the New York media and can handle pressure really well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they see it's either the Mets want him or they don't.
Yeah. But I think it's time.
You got to do it soon because spring training starts in less than a month.
3 weeks, they report.
Mm-hmm, right. So you want to get this done with sooner or later, because if it's not the Mets, you got to benefit some other team wants to benefit from Alonso. Will it be the Blue Jays? Will it be? I don't think the Yankees want to do anything with Alonso because they have who's their first baseman now? Goldschmidt, yeah.
You have nowhere to play him. Stanton's plugging up the DH.
And I don't think the Yankees want to lock in a contract with Alonso because, again, it's the age. That age plays into a big factor in this.
Yeah.
Because look at Judge's contract. They signed him to a 9-year deal?
Even though apparently Arson Judge was apparently going to Giants before that.
Right.
Can't forget the legend of Arson Judge.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you want to answer the question, I think Pete Alonso will not sign with the Mets. I think he'll sign with another team. Of course, I don't know that team though. And John, what do you think again?
Based on what I'm seeing on X, I'm thinking he's going to the Blue Jays, and then maybe the Jays try to trade Guerrero.
Yeah, there's been talk about Vladimir Guerrero coming to the Mets. I think that would be great for them.
And if you think about it this way, Guerrero's 5 years younger. I believe
he's a strong right-handed hitter. That's what you want. He's a slugger,
and he's a lot more consistent.
Mm-hmm. So let's get to the next question here. Oh wait, we got to answer the second part of the question. What are your Super Bowl matchups? I think it's going to be the Bills and the Commanders.
John?
I
agree. We hit on this earlier.
Yeah, this was an earlier in the. So if you go back and early in the podcast, we definitely said it at the beginning, but we definitely do the Bills and the Commanders. All right, second question, and this is not really a question. It looks like a statement. Derek Jeter is the best hockey player in the NBA. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who brought that up, but this person doesn't know anything about sports. Then
whose name did they sign it?
I don't know. It just I don't look at the name. I mean, I look at the names, but people just like to send joke. Maybe this is a prank or a joke or something like that. So
That one was funny.
yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on the Rutgers basketball season? Okay, I'm not really impressed by this season so far, but I'm very impressed with the two players that they got, Ace Bailey and Derek Harper. I think they're both really good players. Now, I'm a little concerned because they're going to be NBA draft picks next year. That means that they could declare for the NBA draft after this year. So I'm a little concerned because if they don't make the tournament this year, how good will they be next year without these two guys if they go to the NBA? So I'd like to see Rutgers try to get to the NCAA tournament this year, try to win some games in the Big Ten tournament. That would be great. If they could just get to the NCAA tournament, win 1 or 2 games, that would be so good. It would mean a lot to this jersey. It'd mean a lot to the Rutgers fans. But I'd like to see them try to get to the NCAA tournament. I think they have a shot still, but they have to beat Michigan State. I think they have to beat Michigan State Saturday. That would mean so much in terms of the seeding. It would mean so much in terms of the bidding. If they could beat Michigan State, that would mean so much. And they have the talent. They just have to glue it. They haven't really glued it all season. They have to finally glue it. Thoughts on Aaron Glenn becoming Jets head coach?
Another defensive-minded coach.
Defensive-minded coach.
He was originally drafted by the Jets, I saw. And he was a scout for them before eventually leaving.
I think he's going to be good. But I don't think this is about the coach. You see, everyone thought Salah was a bad head coach. I think he wasn't a good coach. But he wasn't as bad as people think he is. I think the problem here is you have a 40-year-old quarterback who was just he was the greatest quarterback in, he's so good. He was a great quarterback. But I just don't think at that age he was able to produce what he was supposed to. Yeah. I don't think he was the problem, the coach. I think they just need to get a new quarterback. I think Rodgers needs to retire. And I think they have to start over again. To have a good head coach, I feel like you need to have that quarterback in place. And you have to have your offensive line to a strong level, be able to move around the receivers when you need to, have that running back be part of the plays. So I think Aaron Glenn will be a good coach, but I don't think he'll be a good coach with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers will do the same thing he did last year, and he had a good season, Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think he'll be able to get to a playoff with Aaron Rodgers. I think they need a new quarterback, and I think Rodgers personally will retire. And I know Jet fans don't want to hear that. But I think it's going to happen. I think Rodgers is going to retire.
How about this? Would you trade up to the top 3 and go take Sanders or Ward?
You see, that's going to be a big debate going on in a few weeks. Is will Ward be better than Sanders or will Sanders be better than Ward? Who knows until you have, to be a good quarterback, you have to have a good offensive line. You have to have good, I feel like you have to have all the pieces in play in order to be a good quarterback.
Well, they say now the best available player is a kid from Penn State, Carter.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good.
They say even better than Hunter.
Yeah, Drew Aller is going to be really good too.
Yeah. So I'm looking at ESPN. They're top available in the draft. You got Carter, Hunter, Graham, the kid from Boise State. I don't even want to try to say his name. Will Johnson out of Michigan. And Michael Williams, top 6 out of Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I think, do the Jets need more pieces? Yes. I think they need a new tight end. I think they have a decent roster. They just, I can't guarantee you that this like Aaron Glenn, I'm sure he's a good coach. I mean, he's a great defensive coordinator. I just can't guarantee he's going to be a good head coach. It's very hard. It's not always meant for a coordinator to become a good head coach. It's not always meant to be. But listen,
Yeah.
I hope if he is a good coach, God bless him. I wish the best. We just have to take this game by game and see.
Yeah.
I hope he does good with this team because you don't want New York football to be dreadful again. You want to, and I think the Jets have a chance to win 11 games next year.
And of course, our Giants probably are going to win like 2.
And the Giants, man. So they're keeping the brass. They're keeping the brass.
Yeah.
But the question mark is the draft. That's going to be a big question mark. And will they trade up? That's who knows.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's gonna see. Dable wants to get. He's got to get another run because he didn't have that quarterback like he did it with Allen. He needs to get another run with another quarterback.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't really. I mean, Jones wasn't. He had that 1 year, a couple of years ago where they got to the playoffs. They beat the Vikings and they lost to the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
He had that one run, but then after that, it was just downhill from there. Nothing was positive. The only positive thing was developing the Italian guy and the Italian heritage guy in the Pride in Italia with Tommy Cutlets. That was the only thing that they developed with the Giants that turned out to be pretty successful in terms of the Giants and the fans.
Yeah.
Nothing. That was the best thing that happened to the Giants in the last year was Tommy Cutlets.
Yep. And New York football is just on the decline. I do not count the Bills.
Yeah. But New York City football got to get better.
Yep.
Can't get any worse.
Yep.
And our last question, what's your favorite MLB stadium? This is a great question. And you want to go first, John?
Sure. Out of the ones I've been to, I like T-Mobile in Seattle.
T-Mobile in Seattle.
It was a very nice stadium, especially if you have the roof open. That fan base is hungry.
Never been to Seattle. I want to go so bad. I want to
Well,
go.
remember, you were supposed to come with me and
I was
Doug.
supposed to go, but something happened and I couldn't go. But I want to go soon for sure. I want to go for a football game and a baseball game because I heard the Seahawks games are great as well.
Maybe we'll go at some point this season.
Yeah. My favorite MLB stadium. So I've been to 27 ballparks, right? 27 ballparks. My favorite baseball park comes down to three. I do like Fenway Park. And yes, I'm a Yankee fan, but I also like Fenway Park. Fenway Park is a beautiful setting. I love the area it's located in. I love the outside of the stadium. Fenway Park, I like San Diego, and the other stadium I really, really like was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is great. Pittsburgh, Fenway, San Diego, hands down, those are the best three parks. If you put a gun to my head and I had to pick one, San Diego. San Diego was. You felt like you were in a city in the park. Like the outfield of the stadium felt like you were actually in the city. And if you go there, you'll know what I mean. It's that cool. It is a cool setting, and I recommend you go to Petco Park for sure. But this has been a great show, John. It was great. It was great doing the Thursday edition of the J&B podcast with you as always.
Yep.
We do have We'll be back next week to recap the championship games. We'll also get into We'll start talking a little more about the Knicks. We'll get into more about the Super Bowl matchup because we'll have a Super Bowl matchup by next week. Well, Sunday night we'll have the Super Bowl matchup, so we'll discuss that next week. And we got a lot more to get to next week as we are once again back for the J&B podcast. It's been a long time since we've done, the last show was last week, but it's great. It's great to be back. It's great to be back, and we hope we bring you some great sports entertainment for the future. Well, John, you have a great weekend.
You as well.
Enjoy football. We hope you all enjoy football. And
Mhm.
we'll talk to you on the next show of the J&B Sports Podcast. You have a great one.